Well, ladies and gentlemen, you're seeing it right there, the Cube 3 Architecture TA2 Series here at the Watkins Glen, the Mission Foods Watkins Glen SpeedTour. Yesterday's practice, we had Carson Quapple lay down the fastest time, starting here up front. We know this car is fast because Scott Speed qualified this up front last time out at Lime Rock. Plus, we got to get a shot of this. Alan Mincy has his shorts on, and anytime Alan Mincy's wearing his shorts there, we know this car is going to be fast. So Carson here, Franklin Road Apparel, M1 Race Cars. I noticed Alan ducked behind that machine there. Then I got to point this out. The Ford, the ChriswellFord.com, a great Ford dealership, Ford stores in the New Jersey area, running with Thomas Annunziata. This is their second time with Thomas Annunziata, who we saw very fast at Lime Rock and always really fast here at Watkins Glen. Then we come back here to Jake Drew. Jake Drew running with Silverhair, and I got to point out, we've got three different teams. We've got the M1 team, we've got Nitro, and we've got Silverhair here in the top three. Jake Drew doing really well, had a great go with us at Road America. Then the Concord American Flagpole Company of Rafa Matos here. We know he's fast with these two 2024 pole awards. Then Austin Green, I love having 3dimensional.com back with us. Austin's been running a lot in the Xfinity Series, but came back. He ran with us at a couple other events this year. It's awesome to have him here. I thought he was going to win one of our races here earlier in the season. Then we come here from New York. He would call this his home track, Adrian Lostowski. He's going to be in the booth with us Sunday. But let me explain, we're here on Friday qualifying, and we race at 4. So they're qualifying today, racing at 4. Billy, tell me your strategy here. This kind of changes things. To qualify the same day you race, you're going to want to put as least wear on the car as you can, right?
That's right. We're going to take it easy on it, but we're going to go with the front. So.
Nice. We're going to go flat out is what he just said. Then Josh Hurley coming here. Josh Hurley always fast. Ben Mayer is really turned it on this year. Victory Energy, Blue Power. But look for Ben Mayer with Nitro. BC race cars there with Josh Hurley. Adrian Lostowski is Fast Auto. They're going to release cars. So, Jonathan, I'm going to send it to you, and I'm going to stay in pit lane.
Well, we'll be able to keep an eye on what's happening in pit lane, if anything is, because it's not a long qualifying session, this, but you will see if there are problems, if there's a safety car or there's an issue with the car itself, they will come in. So we will hear from Ben, I'm sure. But all eyes in this Cube 3 Architecture TA2 Championship have to be on the man of the moment. He is, of course, Rafa Matos, going for his third title in the championship. Won the first title in 2018. He's been with different teams. He's now with Nitro Motorsport, and they are on an absolute tear at the moment. And Rafa Matos leading by 129 points. And the ominous part for those chasing him is that this is his best circuit, ironically. So it's going to be hard to challenge Rafa here, but never say never. Here he is. And he's certainly given that Concord American Flagpole sponsorship that Chris Dyson helped him get. He certainly kept that in the limelight. Now, why has Rafa stopped here, I wonder? He's reversing. And okay, so he's going back to his grid position, or he's going back to his pit without doing a warm-up. That's just sort of holding his powder for now in qualifying. Like I said, a half-hour qualifying session to decide the grid here at Watkins Glen. So let's hope there's nothing wrong with our championship leader. And again, let's just reiterate, 129 points. Rafa leads the championship from Thomas Merrill, who won the 22 championship, beating Rafa Matos literally on a count back. They're almost equal. And yeah, he sits 13 points ahead of Thomas Annunziata, who's had a sensational season, the youngster, and has had to do it the hard way at times, coming from the back. But Thomas Annunziata has been quite superb. And as Ben was mentioning, this is the first group of two groups. So we're going to go out with the Fasten group. And it was the youngsters, Carson Quapple for Team SLR M1 race cars in the Camaro, and Thomas Annunziata and Jake Drew. These are all youngsters who are racing in ARCA and a little bit of dirt track racing too, and making names for themselves for the future for sure. Quapple definitely doing just that. He's got a good record so far, and all of them warming up to bigger and better if they can get there. Carson Quapple, part of the Chevrolet program. Just as Brent Cruz, our current champion. Carson, just 20 years of age, from Mooresville, North Carolina. Of course he's from Mooresville. His father, of course, a truck champion, Travis. Doing a second season with JR Motorsports in NASCAR. But under the brilliant tutelage of Scott Lagacy Jr. and the sponsorship from Franklin Road, it's been a successful year, and he hasn't had a lot of time to get sorted and to get dialed in, has the youngster. But every time he showed up to Trans Am, he's been superb. Another one to watch out for, Austin Green. He too has been racing in other series, including Xfinity. And we come off the big news that 17-year-old Connor Zillage has just signed full-time for Xfinity next season. Winner of the first race, of course, at Sebring, and winner of 6 races for Silver Hair last year. So Connor Zillage and many other of our great graduates have gone on to the big time. That's surprising. Tyler Reddick, Christopher Bell, many others now at the top level of cup racing cut their teeth here, given NASCAR doing so many road races, that this is a great breeding ground for both IMSA and NASCAR. Carson Quapple setting us alight then with a first time of 150.2. Jake Drew beating him with a 150.2, but Quapple going into second place, and Annunziata goes quicker than all of them with a 150.1. So it's going to be tight. These three went at it yesterday. They're going to do the same again. Austin Green comes into the picture. Adrian Lostowski effectively racing at home, the man from Brooklyn, New York. And Thomas Merrill, a 149, the first man to dip in and under the 150 mark as we go on board with Adrian Lostowski in the Fast Auto car. Sponsored by CMI, Compass Manufacturing. Well, that sounds great. Lostowski's car just going through its paces. Small team, but that's been the way it's been for the last few years for Lostowski. A great story coming in, getting the runner-up spot in SGT when he arrived in Trans Am. And from there on, he's never looked back, and it's just grown from strength to strength in his driving. And you can see, when you see his hands on the wheel, it's all control. So everybody chasing Thomas Merrill, the 22 champion, in the HP Tuners Cope Race Cars Ford Mustang at the moment. And it's Ford Mustang at the front too, with Bayshore Mortgage Nitro Motorsports second place, Thomas Annunziata. I'm just hoping Annunziata doesn't have to face any more problems. He's had all sorts of situations in either qualifying, or he had an Xfinity race on a Saturday night, so couldn't qualify the car, so had to race to the back, but he's done it. And he's done it to podium positions and wins, so you just don't count him out. Great to see Tyler Casera, the man from PA, also back in the car. I noticed it was Tyler Casera who got the credit by Rafa Matos last time out for his win, saying that behind the scenes, Tyler Casera is helping the youngsters, as well as Rafa himself with a 2-time championship under his belt. But Tyler, as the driver coach for the team at Nitro, has helped the youngsters like Ben Mayer. And yeah, big story for Tyler Casera. Hasn't done a full season, but jumps in when he can, and he's here this weekend. Just ahead of Ben Mayer at the moment. He's already had a win in Trans Am at his tender age. And there is the 26. Thomas Merrill in the HB Tuners car. Keith Prochuk carrying those colours. And this is only half the field, remember. So we've got the first qualifying session. And as you can see, 8 minutes left in this. And then we'll get the likes of Barry Bowes, Keith Prochuk, and another one of the HB Tuners cars, Jared Odrick, who got a win last time out in the Pro-Am series. And their times in practice, certainly the top three are capable of challenging any one of the lower part of the first group. And that includes Boris Said Jr. Although that said, Boris is up to 10th. Andretti's got some work to do in his TA2 car. Caton and Peterson. And so that's what the second group will be trying to chip away at, is trying to get into that top 13 with their times. Still Merrill at the top, leading by 0.087, 7 minutes to go. That's the man you're looking at. It's been a strange year for Thomas Merrill. If Chris Dyson in TA has had an up and down year, so too has Thomas Merrill. But he's had some wins, he's been consistent, and he's still in the hunt. But he's got some work to do to catch this man. And you will have to say that Watkins Glen could well be the pivotal race of the season. And I know commentators often say that, but given that Rafa Matos has over 100 points, you've got to think that Merrill needs to take some points off him this weekend if he's going to catch up. And there is Matos coming out of the boot. It's been a great run at the last few races, Mid-Ohio, Road America. Rafa just keeping a clean set of wheels throughout most of it. It helps him, of course, that Brent Cruz is only doing, or has only done, a couple of races. He actually raced TA at Road America and won that. But his schedule as part of the Toyota Young Development team has meant that he's not being able to do the full season, but he's our current champion at just 16. And Rafa Matos will not mind him not being around. Ben Mayer just did his fastest time, as all the top men now in the top 5 have now dipped into the 1:49s, and that's Ben Mayer going up to 5th with a 49.9, just behind Jake Drew in 4th. Carson Quapple now 1:49.7, and the lead at the moment with Thomas Merrill and Thomas Annunziata. So the Thomases both on the 49.5s with just 5 minutes to go. So a couple of laps to go, and Rafa will want to bounce back. Andretti needs a good time. Casero will want better. Rafa won't want to start 9th and have the possibility of being challenged. Just looking at his time from yesterday, Matos did a 150.5, did Matos, and at the moment he's on a 150.4, so quicker than yesterday, but not enough where the times have come down. So setup has been trimmed, so to speak, overnight, and top 5 have certainly got a march on the championship leader at the moment. But we'll see from this lap as he comes into the rest of the boot to finish off this lap whether in this next 2 laps Matos can improve. The young Brazilian, not so young these days, but he's as fast as he ever was. Started off in stock cars in Brazil before setting out on a very strong career in Indy. Got the rookie title in the Indy Lights and in IndyCar, but loves Trans Am. Now let's see what he does with this lap. Does he improve? Not on that lap. He's pushing now. You can hear the car protesting underneath him. That's Annunziata. There's nothing protesting about him. He's still fresh as a daisy, and he's out of the car. He's like, where's Ben? Where's my interview? Let's head down to Ben.
Well, thanks, Jonathan. I'm here. The new Ford sponsorship, Criswell Ford, has got to be doing pretty well for you. Qualifying second, that's got to feel good.
Yeah, that's Nitro Motorsports. Criswell Ford Mustang is super fast. It's exactly what we needed. We need a strong second half of the season to have a chance at the championship. So this is a good start, and let's see what we got for the race.
All right, well, Jonathan, back up to you for qualifying.
Yeah, it's pretty ominous when Annunziata is right up there and doesn't
nice
take
job.
long. He's got the new Bayshore sponsorship as well this season, as well as Cresswell Ford. So well done for him. And he is an up-and-coming guy. And if the story of last year was Connor Zilic and Brent Cruz, Annunziata has stepped out into the limelight. Both Quapple and Drew not doing all the season, so Annunziata has had a chance to shine here, and in fact is leading the young guns, and that's worth 20,000 of his time and energy to try and win that. And Jake Drew it is who leads the rookies championship title chase, but Thomas Annunziata at the moment on 6:37 to Ben Mayer's 6:24. So there's going to be some good battles between those two. So we'll keep an eye on where Ben Mayer, who currently sits fifth, can finish this race. Here comes Rafa Matos. Still not improving. And those tyres just not giving him any more, and he stays ninth. That'll be disappointment, that, for Rafa Matos. But let's head down to Ben Sissel with the latest from the pit lane.
Well, thank you, Jonathan. I'm here with Thomas Merrill, who's P1. And Thomas, I saw you kind of start back, so you must have had kind of a rougher practice than normal, but you guys found some speed.
Yeah, I wouldn't say our practice was rough. We just applied a different strategy than everybody else. We've been working on having a good race car for this afternoon, so that was our focus there. It did put us on the back foot for qualifying, but I had confidence in my guys to give me a solid race car. Rafa's still out there running, so I don't want to celebrate just yet, but that car was awesome to drive regardless of where we end up on the grid. I'm proud of my guys for doing a good job with this HP Tuners Mustang.
So a little bit behind in the points, but we know you know how to win championships, but also so does Rafa. But is this where it starts to all come together for you?
Yeah, I'd rather chase than lead personally, so yeah, this is my comfort zone. So we just got our head down. We're going to try to win as many races as we can between now and November.
Yeah, so what we saw is Rafa came into pit lane, stopped at the nitro, and they wanted to get a good, clean lap with a gap. So that's what he's trying to do. That's why Thomas isn't counting all his chickens just yet.
Yeah. Thanks, buddy.
Back to you, Jonathan.
Yeah, that's the point, Ben, is that once this man's out there, you can't rest on your laurels, that's for sure. And Thomas Merrill knows this game, professional from Salinas, California. And, of course, these two have a lot of history of racing hard against each other. And that 22 championship went all the way down to the wire. But it went in Thomas Merrill's favor. But, of course, this man wants it back. But it's going to be Merrill, as you can see. Matos coming in, and he didn't improve on his best lap time. And so, therefore, he's going to start, well, he should start ninth. But then again, we've got another group to go. So he might get knocked back further. And disappointment likewise for Casera and Boris Said Jr. That said, that's not bad to Boris Said Jr. I mean, he's been qualifying in the top 10. He's just outside. I'm sure Andretti will be a little disappointed in the Ray Skillman Auto Group Ford Mustang in the Ultimate Headers Racing Chevrolet Camaro. Sorry, Adam, put you in the wrong car. I put you in Eric's car. But Adam Andretti will be disappointed with 12th, I'm sure. Just watching Carson Quapple go through his paces. Checker flag obviously out. But he's going to finish it off and try and improve. He sits third at the moment. Will he improve on this? Last Chance Hotel then. He sits third. But I don't think anything's going to improve, personally. And it's going to be the HP Tuners Coke race cars. Ford Mustang of Thomas Merrill with the pole. And Annunziata starting from the front row. And you could see pepped up after that qualifying session. Got out early and is ready. No problems so far. Touch wood and cross fingers, because when it comes to Thomas this year, you never know what might befall him. But let's hope he starts from the front row. He deserves that. And it's going to be a hard push. Merrill knows this place well. Quapple also does. And Jake Drew, all the youngsters up there. Ben Mayer, good qualifying from him. Josh Hurley in the green light simulation, BCR Ford Mustang. Coming in for a full season this year. Whoa, and a big off for the 17, so Quapple. Let's just hope he hasn't blown anything there. But luckily, I don't think he hit the barrier, but he went straight on. And you could see he's had to take dramatic action to stop that from hitting the barriers, but the gravel trap slowed him down. But as you can see, he's made some fair distance in there, and he's stuck. And that car's going nowhere, so that pretty much ends proceedings there. But it's Merrill, Annunziata, Quapple, Drew, Ben Mayer, and Hurley, the top 6. And yes, our race is Friday afternoon, so if you're tuning to our SpeedTour live stream, join us back at, I think, 4 p.m. local time. In fact, I can confirm that for you. It'll be 4 p.m. local time. So that's 5 p.m. Eastern time. I'll take that again. It's 4 p.m. It starts Eastern time and finishes at 5:30. Here's another look. So he's coming into the last complex here, and he just, I don't know, it looks almost mechanical. He just goes straight on. It's not like the back end came round. Strange one for him, but either way, as you can see, he careered off the field. It might have been a braking moment, but anyway, either way, Quapple finishes his qualifying with drama. Let's head down to Ben Sissel down in the pit lane.
Well, thank you, Jonathan. You can see Rafa getting out. Body language doesn't look good. He started 4th, but we could see, and I was talking to David Posey, one of his crew guys, that his right front tire, he was losing his right front tire there, but keeping the lead, and, you know, 2-time champion Rafa Matos. Rafa, I can tell by your body language you're disappointed.
Well, not really. We're fighting for points here. If we win or finish on the podium, it's a big plus for us, but got to make sure we keep finishing races and collecting good points. Obviously, we're fighting for the pole position. We're pretty quick yesterday. We made some adjustments in the car, but we just got to keep working and making sure the car is good for the race.
But we know Rafa Matos knows how to win championships. But then, like we saw at COTA a couple years ago, so does Thomas Merrill. So that plot thickens as we get with just 4 races left. But then you add in all these young guns. And I know that you were around with us when we started this Young Guns program, and it was fun to have new people coming in. But now they are so fast. They really put the pressure on people like you and Josh Hurley and Thomas.
I think the pressure is always there. I think I put pressure on myself enough, so that is not really a factor for me. You know, I just want to make sure that I represent the sponsors well. You know, got to thank Concord American Flag Pole Company for trusting this program from the get-go. Nitro Motorsports giving me an amazing car all year long, and we have a bit of a fight today, but we're ready for it.
Well, you can see the cool box is working because it comes out without a lot of sweat on them, and when track temperatures are 95 degrees. So nice job, Rafa. So then we're coming back here because Ben Mayer really turned it on. Qualified 5th, I believe, Jonathan, but qualified 5th. New sponsors here at Watkins Glen, so that's got to feel pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, I sort of wanted to lay back and just get out of that pack because it would cause traffic, and I didn't want to get with just have my lap messed up. So I think I could have gained a little bit if I was in the draft, and that hurt me just a little bit. So I think 4/10 off isn't the worst, but definitely could have gained some if I just refined some of the turns and could have gained a few tenths and maybe put it on pole.
Well, look at that, the confidence of Ben Mayer. Jonathan, I'm going to send it back up to you in the booth.
Yeah, it's interesting. You go from our 2-time champion to Ben Mayer, just a youngster coming through, still in his teenage years, but making a real name for himself here in Trans Am, as are all our youngsters. Ben Mayer will be a factor, and he is chasing the Young Guns trophy. Thomas Merrill then with pole position, and it's 2 Fords out front, and it's the second Ford Mustang of the Nitro Motorsports Thomason and Ciata on the front row. Carson Quapple, who had a big incident at the end there, but holds on to his Team SLR M1 race cars third place. Jake Drew is fourth. Ben Mayer, who we just spoke to, fifth place for Nitro. Josh Hurley just behind him. Then Lostowski. Austin Green in eighth position. Rafa Matos in ninth. Not too disappointed, he says. He just needs to kind of get points, not make mistakes, and keep on scoring. He's got 129 points. Tyler Casera rounding out the top 10. So the next group about to go out, and it'll be led by Barry Bowes. I say that led, but in terms of time anyway, he did a 1:51.7, and it's been a good few weeks for Barry Bowes, one from the back in the West Coast Championship. So he just is a new man. Absolutely. Let's head down now to Ben Sissel, who's got Tyler Casera.
Well, here I am with Tyler Casera, and I think Tyler would consider this his home track, or at least one of his home tracks.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I've got a lot of laps here. I've won a lot of races here. This is where I made my TA2 debut 5 years ago in 2019. So, yeah, it's good to be back. I wasn't here last year in a car. So, yeah, I'm excited to be back. A little disappointed with where we're at here in qualifying, but, you know, the race is a different story. So we'll go after it there and try to move this thing forward.
And you've been on the podium here with us at Watkins Glen and TA2, right?
Yeah, I had a mechanical DNF in 22. Back in 21, I was on the podium with Conor Mozak and Rafa Matos, finished second that year. So, yeah, looking to get back there today if we can. Just got to survive this 100 miles.
Nice. Tyler Casera qualifying 10th in the E3 Lithium number 40, so look out for him. All you New Yorkers, even though I think he's from Pennsylvania. So that's Tyler Casera. We're going to go up to grid, Jonathan, because we've got more qualifiers coming out. Tyler did remind me that he's 10th right now, but anything can happen with this next group. So back to you.
That's the truth. So in other words, the second group can, of course, now challenge those positions if they go faster. And it is interesting because Barry Bowes did a 51.7. I was just mentioning that. 51.8 by Keith Prochuk. Jared Odrick. They all, Tommy Sheehan, Jim Gallagher, they're all capable of maybe just popping out. You never know. Michelle Abate could all have a good weekend. It's going to take some time to get Quackle's car out of here, and that's why we've got this hold-up for now. But, yes, I can confirm he is from Pennsylvania. Well, as you can see, it's going to take a little bit more time to get the 17 away. So why don't we take a short break? We'll be right back from the Glen after this. Welcome to a beautiful day here in Watkins Glen in New York. It's a beautiful, beautiful day. And we're expecting actually similar weather for the weekend here as we take our speed tour to the Glen. And it's a different time of year. We usually come here in September, so it's nice to be here a little earlier. Let's see a bit more green. And there has been quite a lot of rain up in the area over the last few weeks, but I'm glad to say it's set fair for now. Let's head down once again to Ben Sissel for the latest before our next group goes out.
Well, Jonathan, thank you so much. As you can see here, it's kind of relaxed here in the Silver Hair pit area. We've got Jake Drew coming in fourth right now, but we've got another group going out. Then Boris said Jr. 11th in his HendrickCars.com. But, Jake, that's got to feel pretty good to be up there in the top four.
Yeah, it definitely feels good. My Silver Hair guys brought me a great race car, and it's enabled me to learn this track quick. Also got Franklin Road on the side, and we're on the road to success right now, so I'm pretty excited. Just super happy to get to learn the track as quick as I can. Obviously minimal laps here right now, so to put a good qualifying in is step one for sure, and looking forward to the race later.
Nice, I love it. Now, Boris said Junior coming in 11th. You seem a little bit disappointed with that.
Yeah, I mean, obviously I'd rather be farther up. The car was pretty good, and, it's a learning experience. I think it's a long race, so, I think we can definitely pick it up in the race.
Nice. Borset Jr. Now, I got to brag on Laura and Maurice here because I've been keeping up with our friend Connor Zilich, and I've seen the silver hair on the side of there, and he's won like 4 in a row or something like that. So obviously you guys know how to find the talent. That's got to feel really good.
I'm telling you, it's one of the best feelings in racing to have the team that we have, that jointly we make the decisions when we're out looking for the new up-and-coming drivers. We've been pretty successful and looking forward to 25.
Nice. Looking forward to 25. So, Logan, if we come over here, we can see the cars coming down as they go through. There goes Jim Gallagher, Weinsberg. We've got our next group, Michelle Abadi's coming down. So this is going to be good, Jonathan. I'm going to throw it back to you.
Looking forward to it, and of course now what these guys have to do, including Michelle Abate just going through your shot there, is try to see if they can challenge any of the top 14, and Doug Peterson, the man on 153.3, is, if you will, on the bubble. So it's similar to Formula One, that you can go quicker and therefore qualify higher. So it's open session. In fact, if anybody can go 149.5, you can have the pole. They just split them up between the two groups, so it's not too much traffic out on the circuit, and everybody gets as much clean air as possible. Out goes the 53. That's Brian Schiebel, coming from Georgetown, Texas, and his wife here in the Alliance Autosport Chevrolet Camaro. Their first outing, so welcome. They've got some interesting background of those two. They've done quite a lot of long-distance dirt and desert racing, so it's interesting to see them going and turning to Trans Am. But we welcome you all the same from Georgetown, just up the road from me, in Austin, Texas. But the story of the day could well be Barry Bowes. He's had a real resurgence since we started the Pro-Am series. Look really good so far as Barry Bowes. In fact, just won in the on the West Coast. Interesting enough, coming from the back. So we'll be on board with Barry. Looks at ASIO data. Austin, Texas. Move to SLR outfit this season, and it's never looked back. It's been a really, really stunning season for Barry Bowes. Actually leads that Pro-Am series by what? 7:45 to Tommy Sheehan's 6:48, so he's got a healthy lead. The battle to be runner-up, though, between Sheehan and Prochuk is good, and Odrick started winning. He's on 6:04, so Jared Odrick would want another good result, having won at Road America. So it's a big sweep at Road America for Rafa and he, both with Nitro. A lot of time out on the track, so we've got to be careful about the traffic. Now, it's made easier by the fact that you've got the two groups, and as we are on board with Bowes, you can see he is in a position as he comes through the bus stop. I love that on. See how much they grapple with it. Nicely cambered down the hill. We do use the full track here. It's only on pace car laps that we shorten it, just to save time. And I love this right-hander. Nice and cambered. You can stick the car in there and try to put it on rails as you sweep around this outside and then over the bridge. And then just two corners, a left and a right, to finish off the lap. Here is that penultimate left. And finishing off the lap with these two corners here. A little blip. could see it's a real combination of fast and slow corners and undulations. That's why all the drivers love racing here. Barry Bowes just did a 53.1 on that lap, but Prochuk has got into the top group. He's gone to 11th with a 151.4, so the only man challenging at the moment, and gets ahead of Boris Said's time and puts himself in the lead group just behind Tyler Casera. Tommy Sheehan has knocked out Eric Caton. Doug Peterson now dropping down to 17th position. So the men on the move: Tommy Sheehan, Keith Prochuk, Barry Bowes just ahead of Doug Peterson's time. Jim Gallagher not quite beating it. Let's see if Abate can improve. She stays 19th with a 57.0. Goes sponsored Girl from Nevada. Without doubt, one of the most popular drivers in our paddock, has been for many years. Didn't start off in the National Championship, was on the West Coast for a while, and then jumped onto the national scene. And by all accounts, has been happy with the progress. She's had injury, she's had accidents, she's recovered well, and she is absolutely fearless. There's Keith Prochuk, currently in 11th. Does he improve any further? His first lap was excellent. His first flying lap was excellent. Prochuk, of course, the HB Tuners, in business with the Piastris, so nice connection that we've mentioned already. Doesn't improve and does not therefore get ahead of Tyler Casera. Stays 11th. Odrick just put a quick lap in. He goes to 17th, 52.7 for him. Barry Bowes improves to 12th overall, knocking down both Boris Said Jr. and Andretti. They're going to be disappointed, those two. Camaro and one in the Ford Mustang, because the boys, let's have a look at Barry Bowes here. Barry Bowes up to 12th with a 151.3, so he's got some work to do if he wants to catch Prochuk just ahead of him, but it's a healthy start to the race from 12th, and he has got ahead of one of the young chargers, Boris Said Jr. and Adam Andretti. This Pro-Am class has really opened things up a little bit, so Barry Bowes is more interested in where his opponent Tommy Sheehan, currently 15th, is. He's 12th, and like I said, leading the championship at the moment is Barry Bowes, but Prochuk in 3rd position, so a good weekend here at Watkins Glen could change things around. Certainly committed there, was the 27, no doubt about it. Doing a lot of racing this season is Barry Bowes, and it's helping. Remember, there's been quite a few weeks off from Trans Am since the last race at Road America. Here comes Bowes again. Does he improve? No. Stays in 11th. Clock ticking down then. Just 6 minutes to go. Still, Merrill, Annunziata and Quapple, your top 3. Here's Tommy Sheehan. We like to call him the Iron Man, simply because he's been going for so long, over 120 race starts under his belt. With the Vixen sponsorship, Tommy currently 15th, and trying to see if he can improve and get ahead of Group A's Boris Said and Adam Andretti. I have to say, though, if you are trying to set your best time of around the Glen, today's the day to do it. The conditions are absolutely set fair. Temperature will rise as the day goes on, so the race at 4 o'clock will be slightly warmer than it is now. But they'll adjust for that. And of course, they'll have full fuel loads for the 100 miles. And it becomes a sprint race of attrition. High above the famous Watkins Glen boot. After the shape from high above, there's the toe. And these mini straights can be deceptive. There's quite a fair bit of straight there. And you do get the odd overtake coming into this right-hander. If you're going to do it, Tommy, you've got to do it now or the lap next. Heath Prochuk leading Pro-Am ahead of Barry Bowes. At the moment, Sheehan in third position in 15th. And as you can see, he's not going to complete that lap. Odrick is about to complete his, though, the former NFL man. But I have to say, he can roll off that mucker now. He's a full-on racing driver now these days. Film producer and actor, as well as an ex-NFL player. And a little squirrely there to turn one. Makes a big mistake there. A little too hot, but he recovers well. And that would have given him the willies a few months ago. Now, he's just taking it in his stride. It's a great story for Trans Am. Jared Odrick started off in production car racing in Trans Am and then jumped up to TA2. And since he's got here, he's just gone from strength to strength. And it's great to have him on board. Super guy. Comes Abate again. Spoke to her early in the week. She's looking in October to do another women's motorsport symposium. And they've been working really hard. And Michelle absolutely flying the flag for women in motorsport, as does Katie Bryson, who will be with me in commentary. So we'll get her story, and it's a good one. She's leading the way at the moment in her championship. She'll be racing Sunday. And that was Robert Sabato in the 61, just behind Abate there. Let's see if they improve. Sabato currently on 153.3, sits 20th. He's ahead of Abate though, so she'll want to improve if she can. Love the Dago yellow gloves. Love the side shot too. See how they're working it. No change at the top. Keith Prochuk leads the way in Pro-Am, I should say, in that Ford Mustang. And although he and Bowes did drop Sed and Andretti, that's about all that's happened in this second session. Remains to be seen if anybody else can improve. Let's see what these two do now as they come to the line. Abate just ahead of Sabato. No improvement from Roberto Sabato, and no improvement for Abate on that lap. Still 1 minute 26, so they can use this lap, but as you can see, they're fighting hard. That's not going to make either of them very quicker, but Michelle just determined to get some fresh air and try and put this lap in and improve. Up the hill she comes. I love that onboard shot. It's just flat out through there, isn't it? Total commitment. Back through the gearbox, into the bus stop, bounce, bounce, and again. Nicely done. So good chance then that HB Tuners will be on pole for both classes, both in the overall, with Thomas Merrill in the 26, and of course Prochuk in the number 9. So a good day at the office then for the Coke Cars Ford Mustang, HB Tuners Ford Mustang of both Merrill and Prochuk. That's a big day. Nitro won last time out. Could Cope cars do the same? Let's see if Odrick improves on this final lap. No, he crosses the line now and stays 17th. No improvement for him. Just behind Caton. And here comes Tai Young in the 22. I'm pretty sure no one's going to challenge the top three. And the only one to really make inroads, Prochuk and Bose. Let's see what Tai Young finishes out with here. As the checkered flag does wave. No change. So Tai Young does not improve in that final lap. Here's Sabato again, currently in 20th. And no improvement also for the 61 Roberto Sabato in the 6th gear racing Ford Mustang. Let's head down to Ben Sissel down in pit lane.
Well, thank you, Jonathan. Like you mentioned before, it's HP Tuners in P1, and then in P1 Pro-Am, I believe starting 10th, is Keith Prochuk. You've got your other Pro-Am competitor, Barry Bose, right there side by side with you. But first of all, I just want to say something. Bowser, if you're watching, we love you. We miss you this weekend. Not here. What's that mean? Keith, this has got to feel good.
Yeah, I mean, it feels great. We're second in the points right now behind Barry. And he was the target today, so they were giving me his information. But I thought we had him, and we knew what we had to do. We made some changes to the car overnight, and yeah, it really picked up. They said it was the first 2 laps that were going to be the go lap, and my first lap I kind of made some mistakes, so I knew I needed another one. And I wasn't sure if that was going to be enough, but yeah, we pulled it off. Big job to the Cope crew. Congrats to Thomas Merrill on pole in the Pro. But we have a great car for later today, and yeah, we got it. I think we're sitting pretty good.
So for the owner, president of HP Tuners, I know that data has to be so important to you. So now you go back, you'll go with Thomas and all the other teammates, and you're just going to analyze everything, aren't you?
Yeah, we do. You know, Thomas is our coach for the team, and he helps us look at all the data. It was quite interesting. Test 1 yesterday, I was fastest, so we were actually kind of looking at my data, which is great. But yeah, it's always interesting comparing our data to Thomas's, because it's like, oh man, I mean, Thomas is a machine. He is just amazing out there. So he'll show us where we can pick up, and yeah, I'll get some more tricks for my bag later today to basically hopefully keep Barry behind me. But yeah, we are in a really good spot.
Nice job. Well, Keith Prochuk, we've got Tom Sheehan here. Jim Gallagher just came in. I got to give it up, though. I love this new livery with Vixen Women's, the motorcycle company for women. They make a bunch of apparel and motorcycle accessories for the women out there who are racing their motorcycles. So, Jonathan, back to you.
Thank you, Ben. Yep, plenty of good sponsorship going around, and it's good to see people getting creative too. And great to have different sponsors from different walks of life. Thomas Merrill then with the HP Tuners Cope race cars takes the pole ahead of Annunziata. It's going to be an interesting race and battle between those two, and it means a lot too. Annunziata chasing the young guns and Merrill chasing the championship, and he needs to score, especially with Rafa Matos down in 9th. Quappel is 3rd, Drew Mayer top 5, Josh Hurley 6th, half a second between the top 7, and Lostowski is 7th, Austin Green 8th, Rafa Matos 9th, and Tyler Casera coming back into play in 10th position. And a little further down, Sabato, Doug Winston, Hale Phillips, Michelle Abate, Bruce Raymond, Tai Young, 26, and Brian Scheibel getting into the reckoning with his lap, and as to confirm there, Keith Prochuk with 11th and leading PA ahead of Barry Bowes. That'll be a good battle between those two, as you heard from Keith. Boris said Jr. dropping down, Adam Andretti with work to do. Both those guys will not be happy with their qualifying positions. They've got some work to do. Sheehan, Caton, Odrick, Gallagher, Peterson, and Weisberg rounding out the top 20. Well, that concludes our qualifying. That race coming up later today, so don't expect it to be tomorrow. No, we are racing on a Friday for the first time this season in TA2. Local time, 4 p.m. We're going to take a short break, though, for the lunch break here at Watkins Glen. Until then, bye-bye for now.
You've got a business to run, big and heavy products to ship. and customers who need them now. When you've got the right driver and the right equipment, you can bet on a spectacular result. Bennett understands complex logistics and puts the best team, the most time, and the latest technology into every customer relationship. So you can sit back, relax, and enjoy the race. Let us handle the rest.
Together, we can move anything.